Alright guys, hope this video finds you all well. I'm going to try to do a couple problems here on 10.2 and 10.3 both to help you out with your homework here a little bit. That's why I called the video Geometry Homework Help for 10.2 and 10.3. So, one major thing that you should write probably at the top of your page is the formula that Mr. Houston talks about in the video. Hopefully you watch the video. Watch it a couple times if you have to. I know he's kind of boring to listen to, but it could be helpful. So we want to actually know the arc length, like the physical, like what is there, like how many inches or whatever it is. So that arc length is, remember, you're going to take your angle, okay, the degree of measure, x, times the circumference. Okay, and then divide that by 360. But now keep in mind that, whoops, what did I do there? I don't want that. Keep in mind that circumference is 2 times pi times r. And even if they give you the d, the diameter, like in number 3 right here, 26 is the diameter. Cut it in half and just use the radius. Divide it by 2, it'd be 13. So you're going to use 13 there. Okay, maybe I'll do number 3. So, let's talk about number 3. 1, 2, and 3 are all about the same. All right, so number 3 is just a pinch harder just because of the diameter factor. So again, my length, okay, and I'm just going to call my length L. He called it AL for arc length. I guess we could do that too. So we're going to take our degree of measure, 57, times the circumference, which is 2 times pi times, now instead of r, I'm going to use 13 because, again, it's 13 meters out here. So, and then divide that all by 360. So I'm going to take 57 times 2 times pi, and there is a pi button on the red calculators if you have one like that, times 13, and I get 4655.84. So the arc length equals 4655.84. And I'm going 2 decimal places because that's what the directions told me up here. Nearest hundredth, that's 2 decimal places. Okay, and then we're going to take this now and divide it by 360. I just keep it in my calculator. I don't retype all that. I got 12.93. So my arc length is 12.93 for number 3. And that would be this right here. Hold on here a second. Okay, so you know that I'm human. I did goof here a little bit. This 12.93 is for this piece right here. I didn't look at the directions carefully enough. They want the bolded area. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this, but instead of using 57, all right, I'm going to take 360 and subtract 57. That gives me 303. So now you're going to do the exact same thing. The only thing is you're going to say, okay, 303 times 2 pi times 13 all over 360. So 303 times 2 times pi times 13. I get 24,749. I'm going to divide that by 360. I get 68.75. 0.75. So that is how long, that's how long it is all the way around that area right here, the bolded area. So I kind of screwed up. I kind of did 2 problems in one there for you. Sorry about that. But again, like he talked about in the examples, I got 303 right here because that's 303 degrees around. I took 360, subtracted 57. That's how I got 303. And then 2 times pi times 13, because I took 13 is the radius, right? So I just plugged in all of that, got a big long answer, divided it by 360, and rounded to my nearest hundredth. Okay, so that's how you do 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2, 1, you're just gonna sit there and, it's pretty simple. They just want this one. Now here, you need to do what I did over here. You gotta subtract 118 away from 360 to get the degree of measure here, like I did in the red pencil over here. Okay, and then 2 times pi times 4 divided by 360. If you have questions, you can also direct message me through Google Hangout too. So, all right, moving on. Okay, you had to do the assignments 1 through 9. I'm going to pick on number 5 here. I'm going to do this one with you. So they are asking me if MK is 10 meters. So MK is the diameter is 10 meters. I like to work with radius, so I'm just going to throw this out there right now. Half of 10 is 5. So right here, this N to K is 5. I'm going to need that here in a minute. Find the length of MKL. So MKL is this right here, MKL. And the reason I went that direction is because it was M, then K, then L. You can't go this way. That would have been L, then K. Okay? So we need to know the degree of measure here. Now, we need to figure out our degree of measure, which is going to take a little bit of extra work here. Key thing here is the fact that this is 90 degrees, okay, right there in the middle. And I'm just going to take 90 and subtract my 52, and that's going to give me KL right here. So 90 minus 52, I get 38 degrees. Okay, so this is 38. Now, you might ask, well, what's the rest of this? The J to M. Okay, well, I want to remind you, half a circle is 180 degrees, right? So from M over to K is 180. Well, if I subtract 52 from 180, I'm going to be left with this piece right here. So we're going to say 180 minus 52. So that's going to give me 128. So this arc is now 128 degrees. So I want to know how long it is from M all the way over to here. So now I'm going to add these three together and use that in my formula for X. So you're going to add 128 plus 38 plus 52. That's 218. So now to find the arc, whoops, get your pencil there, Craig. So to get the arc length, we're going to take the 218 that we just got by adding all three of those together times 2 times pi times r, which is 5. And you divide that whole thing by 360. Now I'm just going to plug it all in. 218 times 2 times pi times 5. And I get 6848.67. 6848.7, and divide that by 360. Now I'm not clearing my calculator again. I'm leaving that all in there. 19.02. So the arc length is 19.02 meters. It's meters because that's what they talked about up here. Okay? So that's about as extreme as it gets, simply because we had to figure out that big arc to start out with. But the formula was all the same. The formula was still the same as it was up here. We took our degree, times 2 times 2 pi r, then divided by 360. Okay? So the concept is there as far as the rest of your problems. Give them a shot. Try them out. And if you get confused, some of you are emailing me. Some of you are sending me messages on Remind. That's quite all right. So I'm going to pause here for a second, and I'm going to pull up Homework 10.3 and continue this video to help you out with 10.3 then as well. So stay tuned. I'll be back in a moment. To you, it'll just be like a blip because I'm going to hit pause. It might be an hour for me, but for you, it ought to be just a blink of an eye. I'll be right back. A second ago, we were back here talking about arcs. And okay, guys, like I told you, probably blink of an eye, right? We're over here on 10.3 talking about this lesson. It's not terribly difficult, but I am going to tell you, if you're listening to this video, congratulations. I'm only going to tell you, just do the evens or odds. You pick. Actually, I'm going to pick for you. Let's have you do the odds 1 through 11, and I'm going to do a couple evens just to give you an idea. But for most part, we're just doing some algebra here today. So without further ado, we're going to start off with number 2. All right. They're telling me that JK is, this is 7x minus 39, and ML is 87 degrees. Now, Mr. Houston taught us that if these chords are equal, they're marked equal by the tick mark, then the arcs are also going to be equal. So all we're going to do is set them equal to each other. So I'm going to take 7x minus 39 equal to 87, add, maybe, there we go, add 39. That zeroes out. I'm left with 7x equals 87 plus 39. I get 126. Then we're going to divide by 7, of course, and x equals 18. Make sure you read the directions and know what it is they're looking for. Here they just want us to find x, so we did that. Now, if they wanted us to find, say, jk, well, then we just plug this in. It'd be 7 times 18 minus 39, and then you'd know how long that arc is. Okay? Number 4, the exact same thing pretty much. Okay? And like I'm looking at your number 3, you're just going to set, since these chords are equal, that means these arcs are also equal. So I'm just going to throw you a quick helpful hint here. If that side down there is 3x, or 13x minus 21, so is this one. Okay, set them equal to each other and solve for x. That's all they're asking you to do. Okay, number 6 is a little bit different, just picking it up a notch. And so they're telling us that DE is equal to GF. So this chord is equal to that chord. HJ is 3x plus 20, so this little guy in here is 3x. Trying to squeeze it in there, 3x plus 20. And JI, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more, is 15x minus 64. 15x minus 64. Okay, and they want us to know JI. Now, here's the deal. Since these guys were all perpendicular with each other and these were all same, basically these two are just equal to one another. Okay, they're just equal to each other. This piece and this piece are the same. They're the same length. So you're just going to set them equal to one another, and we're just going to solve for x and plug it back in. So we're going to take 3x plus 20 equals 15x minus 64. All right, I'm going to subtract the 3x over, maybe if I can write, there we go. And I'm going to add to 64. I'm going to kind of do 2 steps in one. I hope that doesn't screw anybody up. But so I got 84 equals, that's going to give me 12x. And we're going to take 84 and divide it by 12. X equals 7. But they didn't want that. They wanted ji, which is 15x minus 16.4. So 15 times 7 now, minus 64. And I just plug that all into my calculator just like I wrote it there. And I got 41. So ji is equal to 41. Okay, so remember I set them equal to each other because this piece and this piece are equal, all because it started out with the chords being equal and the fact that they were perpendicular. Mr. Houston talked about that in his video. Okay, so I set them equal to each other, solved for x, plugged it back in. That's stuff you guys have done for a long, long time. Okay, let's see. Do I need to talk about 8? I don't think. Let me look at your number 7 here. They give you this arc, that's BC. They're giving you this one. Okay. They want BAD, so they want BA to D. So basically, all you need to do is set these two equal to each other, solve for x, and plug them back into each. They should be the same. Okay, and whatever you get for these two arcs, subtract both of these from 360, and then you'll be left with BAD, bad. As in, how bad can I be? Okay, that's the Lorax, isn't it? My little girl's standing here beside me. She's starting to grin and laugh. I think she's getting a kick out of watching me talk to y'all. Okay. So I want you to try 9 and 11, okay? It may look like there's a lot going on here, but guys, I'm telling you, it's not. They're just asking lots of questions about the same thing. If you apply your rules, you'll find out it's not that hard. So first off, like looking at 10, yu, which is here, is equal to yv. So this one and this one are equal, which is probably going to tell me that this chord st and this chord qr are going to be equal to each other. Just throwing it out there. They tell me that st is 16, so this whole chord is 16, which means this whole chord is going to be 16. They want to know what is the measure of this dude right here, qs. Or I'm sorry, no, they tell us that, my bad. Take it back. So they're telling us that this is 34 degrees and RT is 98. Okay, and then they want us to find a bunch of measures. I'm not even going to look at all this mess over here yet. I don't care. What I am going to do is, I guess let's go through it one at a time. They want QU first. Well, QU, okay, QU is right here. It's the halfway point of this whole segment. So cut 16 in half, I would get 8. So QU is going to be 8. Then they want QR. Well, we already kind of talked about that. That's going to be 16 because the other one was 16. ST, they want to know that arc. Alrighty, well, so let's see here. Okay, to figure out arc ST, I know what 2 of these arcs are. Remember, everything based on a circle is out of 360. So if I subtract the 98 and the 34, so 360 minus 98 minus 34, I get 228. So that's 228 degrees for 2 of them, though. You know, remember, that's going to leave you 2 arcs. So just cut this in half, and you'll know what ST is, which will also give you arc QR. So we're going to divide this by 2, and I get 114. So that means ST is 114, and arc QR is 114. And then XT, they want to know XT, which is this little guy right here. Well, he's going to be half of the 114. If the whole thing was 114, these guys are cutting this arc in half, because Mr. Houston told us that. So half of 114, just divide it by 2, 57. Okay? Now I didn't have to do any algebra there at all. I just had to label my picture. Yes, redraw your picture in your Rocket book on paper. Prick your finger right in blood. I don't care. Okay? But that's all we had to do. Remember the rules of the circle, 360. Remember the rules that we've been taught. This chord or chord is equal to this chord. If they're perpendicular, which they're going to be, it's splitting these guys in half. Okay, so that's how I knew that this was only 8. All right. So hopefully that helps. Okay. I'm going to kind of stop there. If you have more questions, by all means, give me a shout, and I will jump on and help you out. Okay. So that's all I've got to say. Rosie, you got anything you want to say? No, she's being shy. Okay. You guys take care. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Love you all. Miss you all. Take care.